Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the final episode of second season of The Family Business. Okay, y'all, they had already started off on one. So, Junior and his team of people, and Orlando and his team of people, they've gone to two separate locations trying to figure out if they can, catch up with Xavier. Trying to find him, trying to see if they can catch him or see, if their leads or however they even learned about these places really paying out. And Junior, we'll get into him in a second, but the area that Orlando went to, you could tell that he was definitely staying there, but he's fled. He had like little news clippings and articles that were talking about him and how he went on a killing spree because he's a serial killer and doing the most and all of that. And meanwhile, over in the area that Junior was in, he literally was just there. You could tell he was just there. The food was set up there. Like, the whole setup lets you know that this is somebody who is hiding out in this area and that they have been here. One of the twins said, yeah, I don't think he's here no more. But, y'all, guess what was sitting on the table? Of all things, I cackled. Okay, y'all. It had a whole driver's license for the state of Alabama. As soon as I saw the license, I said, I know that ain't Alabama. I ain't got my glasses on either. I said, that look like an Alabama license. I'm tired. He had a whole Alabama license, ID, whatever. And guess where he's supposed to be going to hide out? Birmingham, Alabama. Oh my God, y'all, the irony of it all. It's crazy because, like, if you from Birmingham, or if you are from the surrounding areas, you know or you have heard of what goes down in Birmingham. They be doing the most in Birmingham. Birmingham, just like my city, Montgomery, Alabama, they be trying to act like they Detroit and Chicago with the killings. Like, it is ridiculous. The crime rate is ridiculous. So, in all honesty, he would fit in. He would fit in, but I was like, not Birmingham, Alabama. Oh my God. But it makes sense though. It's crazy. Y'all, I'm done. Y'all, we ain't but 5 minutes. It ain't even 5 minutes mark yet. I'm tired. Wait a minute. Y'all, I'm done. I'm trying not to cry. Okay, so LC is in his office when he gets a surprise visitor, and that is none other than Alejandro. And so he was like, so it is true. You are here. And so he was like, yeah. And so he was like, well, I don't make a habit of, seeing ghosts. Y'all, he let it be known that he is one of the original Ghostbusters. He was like, you better say that. If y'all don't know who he is, how dare you? He, in real life, his name is Ernie Hudson, if I'm not mistaken. He is one of the original Ghostbusters. He was the, of course, only black Ghostbuster. He made a reference to Ghostbusters, y'all. I'm over here screaming like, you better do that. I'm done. Y'all gotta go see that part. But anyway, let me get back to the scene because I cut it off after that. I'm done. Okay, y'all. So back to the conversation. Of course, Alejandro wants to know if Elsie knows where his ex-wife is. And he's like, I don't keep tabs on her. And, some things went down and there's no affiliation like that no more. She ain't been allowed to be around here no more. Why is the timing as crazy as it is? Because not long after that, Nevada rolled up in there trying to tell him that he got his learner's permit or whatever it is. And he was like, learner's permit? How old exactly are you? And so he looking at him like, what? Who is this? Like, Nevada ain't dumb. He know what time it is. And then his grandmama rolled up in there and was like, old enough to know not to speak to strangers. And he was like, it's okay. He was just leaving. And so Elsie, had them to escort him out of the house. And so, of course, Nevada was like, is that who I think it was? And he was like, yeah, it is. He was like, okay, so mom wasn't lying. He was like, yeah, apparently she wasn't. So I'm just like, this is a little bit too much for me, but okay. So anyway, moving on to the heifer Consuela. She trying to talk to the dude that she wants to have protect her. He ain't doing nothing but taking advantage of her and screwing her brains out. That's literally all that is happening. And he's being led to believe that she's cooking these meals and doing all these other domesticated things that she ain't doing unless she has learned overnight. I'm pretty sure she hasn't. I'm pretty sure she's still ordering out and making it seem like she's rattling all these pans in the kitchen and she ain't. But anyway, So, you know, she over here trying to play some, well, what's going on? I thought you said you loved me. And he was like, I do love you, but I'm not going to sit up here and ruin my personal friendship with my best friend and all this other stuff or whatever, because she wants him to talk to his best friend and all this, like, it's a lot of stuff going on. And he was like, look, I'm not trying to, but if you want to talk to the Duncans about your son, do that. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. Definitely not going to get in the middle of that. Do what you do when it comes to that. But he don't want to really get in that like that. And so she was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to find somebody else to help me. She really tried to play this damsel in distress. Like, she is in distress, but she is nowhere near a damsel like that. Like, y'all know what I'm saying. I don't know if she got lip fillers or if the lipstick she be wearing be making her lips look just overly dramatic. I don't know. I know some people's lips just look like that. That might be what it is. But I just be like, what is... Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. I pay attention to stuff like that. I'm so into art. Stuff like that, it really sticks out. And I'm just like, what is going on? Is it the lipstick or does she have fillers? Or is that just how her lips look? Like, what is going on? So anyway, he was already looking at her like, don't play with me. You know how I get down. You know I'm very jealous, which a lot of those men are. They get jealous with the quickness. Even if somebody looking at their woman, admiring what they see and just like, okay, she fine. And that's it. And they notice it. They already done went off in their mind. And so he was like, don't even play with me like that, because I'm pretty sure you don't want to find whoever you might have helping you body floating in the Jersey River or something, he said, because their throat got slit, because I ended up slitting their throat from here to here and all this other stuff. And so she was like, well, I mean, can you at least give me some money to go shopping? I'm just like, Consuelo, I'm so tired. Like, can he not see through this? Like, it's the same. What is she doing in this bedroom with this man for this little act that she putting on to be working? But anyway, so he was like, well, where is, you know, whatever the hit woman's name is, I forgot. She was like, well, I didn't have anything to do today, so I ended up giving her the day off. Well, this heifer is bayed up with the man who asked her a couple of episodes ago, what's going on? Why you ain't been hitting me back after I've been texting you? They've been screwing and some more, and she in the bathroom getting ready, and he was like, I don't know what you're doing that for. I ain't gonna do nothing but get messed up because she's reapplying some lipstick or whatever. Okay, so that boy who she, you know, basically read a couple of episodes back when she wanted to see the guy who she's screwing right now, well, Marcos, whoever it was. I think she wanted to see Marcos that day. But he was like, well, screw my aunt. So the person that her assistant, that's what I'm gonna call her, assassin assistant, is screwing is Consuelo's nephew, but whatever. So he was like, well, what you trying to do? Do you have to meet up with her? Like, you gotta go, are you actually about to go run off with her again? He was like, I don't have to meet up. She was like, I don't have to meet up with her for the next couple of hours. So I might be able to do some things. And so he was like, okay, are you coming back to bed or no? And she was like, I mean, am I? So he went on ahead and picked her up, and they finna go and bust it wide open. Alexander is on a golf course and he's playing with these two guys. And I have not seen anybody do this in a really long time. He actually picked up a handful of the grass and dropped it so that he can look at the centrifugal, I can't even say the word no more. But anyway, trying to do the most, y'all, I couldn't even say the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he's looking at the direction of the wind and all that other stuff to see which direction is going in, if the wind is really going to affect him. Like, he really is being very technical about this shot he's about to make. So he basically just made a bet and was like, you know, I can make this shot and it's going to go in the hole and all. Like, I'm just like, what? It ain't like he putting real quick. He has to like wind it up and really swing. He proceeded to do that, swung, and it had the audacity to go in the hole. Well, this fool sat up there and bet like shares of some really amazing company. And he was like, Alexander, this is going to ruin me financially. This is going to bury me financially. Man, his wife came up out the purse with the gun, was like, you know, it's better to be ruined financially, buried financially, than to be buried a lot, you know, in real life, you know. And so he was like, yeah, I expect all this stuff to be transferred to my account by the end of the business day or something like that. And so he was like, all right, well, you know, I got some business calls I got to make. I'll meet y'all in the clubhouse for a bill. And they went on ahead and dismissed themselves. And after they dismissed themselves, Sebastian rolled up with his raggedy heifers. And, you know, they were expecting some good news. He had none to give. And they were like, okay, I'm not understanding what you're saying because we need some more heat. And he was like, well, I'm waiting on my next shipment and I only have a little bit to keep me afloat at the club. He was like, F your clubs. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm pretty sure that this man will pay you more than what you would get from the people that you selling them to at your club. But who am I? I ain't nobody. So anyway, they felt threatened and the heifers ended up pulling guns on Alexander and his wife Dominique. And I'm just like, oh, y'all want to die. And they was like laughing and they was like, are they serious? Oh, Alexander is done. He was like, oh no, they gonna pay for that. He was like, no. They just trying to protect me. They're doing their job. And he had to tell them to stand down twice because they still had the guns drawn on them when he told them to stand down the first time. He had him hemmed up anyway. So, you know, they felt threatened and they was like, oh no. Yo, he was like, okay, so I'm going to make it up to you. My next shipment of heat is yours. He was like, I know that. It was like, he was looking like, and? It looked like his whole look was just like, and what else though? Like, that ain't nothing. That's a given anyway. Y'all, it just got to the point he was, you know, he went on ahead and excused himself and he told her to come on. I'm like, man, y'all about to get killed. So anyway, him and his wife talking. And so she was like, you know, I'm going to meet up with Naja tomorrow or later on or whenever it's going to be to unload these AR-15s. And then we can get back to some other business. So he was like, yeah, when you're done with that, we're going to focus on this business. And those shares that he just got, it is going to be worth like 10 plus times what it's worth right now in the next 2 years. So he was like, we're going to have to put all of our efforts into that. We're going to focus on that. So when you're done, we're going to make that the priority. And they are really going to have to set it off when it comes to heat. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I actually thought that what he was going to do was he was going to get heat, have somebody to go into it and break it down and really get into it to see how they can really do it. Since they have, everybody else's efforts have gone just to the left and ain't been able to work out for them. But I don't know. I don't know how this gonna go with him, so we'll see. Consuela was at a park and she ended up calling her hit woman who is still in her entanglement situation. She had just handcuffed this man and was about to have a long conversation with him about some benefits, and she got the call. So she answered the phone and she was like, where have you been all day? I've been calling you. She was like, I ain't get no calls from you. I thought that was Ramon calling me. Ramon been calling me and I thought he was just calling me to clown me about a game that her team ended up losing. Like the Clippers versus the LA Lakers or somebody was playing against the other team, and a team that she lived for lost. So she said that she felt like that was him calling to clown her. And she was like, no, that was him calling on my behalf. I need you to meet me at this park. And so she was like, well, I'm not near there. I'm like an hour away in Farmingdale or somewhere, Farmington or somewhere, she said. And so she was like, okay, that's fine. I'll wait. I'll be here for a while. So she hung up. She ended up telling old boy she had to go. She got to go to work. She left him handcuffed. Well, not long after Consuela got off the phone, an older gentleman who looks as if he's of Spanish descent rolled up and said, it's a beautiful day. I was like, what is going on? You doing the most? Just randomly saying it's a beautiful day. And so he was like, well, do you mind if I sit? I am, you know, whatever. She was like, well, actually, I have someone who I'm meeting here that seat's taken. I'd appreciate if you get up. So he just sat there, went on by his business. And so she told Ramon to come over there and handle that man. As soon as he was going to try to roll up, Alejandro's sister got a hold of his neck and had it like she was about to cut it. And she looked over there. Old man ended up coming out with a gun and was like, look, if you want to live, you'll come with me. But if you want to stay, you can die. It is what it is. It's your choice. So she ended up getting up. She told him to be careful. And he was like, okay, very careful. Ladies first. So they went on by their business. So then they go to the next scene, which might actually still be within the same scene, where they showed Nevada in the back of a vehicle with his grandmama. And she was like, are you sure you want to do this? And so he was like, yeah, I was going to have to see her at some point. He actually was supposed to be meeting up with his mama. This is the normal meeting place that they have or whatever. He was like, yeah, I had to speak to her and see her at some point. And you know, she's never late. So he done got out the truck and he done went over to the area. She ain't there. So he look at the phone, he see the time. And so he shook his head and like, I guess he went on back to the car. So LC is at the house playing pool with his best friend, Juan, who is the man who Consuela been screwing and manipulating. And he's trying to explain to LC that he's found someone. It's been hard for him since his wife passed away, but there's somebody who's on his radar that he really wants to be with, wants to settle down with. And so he was like, oh, okay, I'm happy for you. Do I know this person? And so he was like, yeah, you do know her. You know exactly who she is. She's been here a few times. So he looking like, well, who is it? Man, LC trying to take a shot because they playing pool. He said, Consuela, man, he missed that shot so terrible, like completely. I was like, no. He was like, are you crazy? He done went off on him. He was like, this is manipulation. This is not love. Well, Juan ain't trying to hit it. Well, while they was in the middle of talking, LC's wife, Charlotte, and his grandson, Nevada, came in, and Nevada is, you know, kind of bummed out because he was trying to give his mama a chance, and she didn't show up. And so they are explaining the whole situation, and in my mind, I'm like, why is Juan not running out the house like he's on fire at this point? Because to me, that would mean one of a few things, and the main thing that's at the top of the list would be that maybe her ex-husband has gotten a hold of her. But he just turned like his whole body around when he realized that they was talking about Consuela, and that was it. So then, you know, he was like, well, are you okay? You know, everybody wanted to know, was Nevada okay? He was like, yeah, I'm all right. You know, I just thought that since she texted me and said she wanted to meet with me, that since it's my birthday, you know, I just gave in. I kind of wish I didn't. I just felt like she was going to, you know, something was going to be different or whatever. So he kind of mad at himself for even giving this heifer a chance. But he don't know that it's not a matter of him, you know, being let down because it was her doing this on purpose. It wasn't her fault. She still is a mess, so whatever. But then, so he was like, well, all right, I'm going to get out of here. And so he ended up taking LC to the side, and LC was really trying to tell him to be careful with her because he don't know what he really getting into. Like, he might need to be careful with that. And I'm just like, you don't even know. Well, the hit woman, the assistant to Consuela, that went to the place, and then she ended up just going back to old boy's house. And so they both at the house relaxing. And so she was like, okay, so what's going on? Have you seen Consuela? Don't nobody know where she at. This ain't making sense. Why are alarms not going off in everybody's mind, especially people who know the specific details about this heifer and what's going on? Alejandro is out for blood. He done told her, I'm going to kill you. Like, why is nobody taking this seriously, and why is nobody understanding what is really going on? I don't understand. So now the alarms are finally going off. He talking about some, oh, Alejandro, he must have her. And the hit woman is talking all nonchalant, like, yeah, something must have happened to her. They must have her. I'm like, why is she talking so nonchalant? What is going on? Like, are you playing both sides of the fence, or is that just how you speak? Like, with no kind of emotion? Like, you ain't got no get up and go in your spirit, in your speak, and nothing. Like, I'm like, you work for this heifer. Like, if I had went there and I'm trying to call this heifer and she ain't answering the phone, everybody been trying to call her, I would call around to everybody who I know that we are all still basically in cahoots together to see, have they heard from this heifer? And if ain't nobody said nothing, or they said they've tried and they literally try to talk to her, call her and all this, and they don't get no answer, I'm gonna be like, oh no, round up everybody. Something went down. I don't know if it's him or if it's something else, but something went down. Y'all all of a sudden now are understanding that, oh, something went down. Why y'all just not getting it? I can't stand that when that stupid stuff like that happen. Brother Minister and LC went into the room where Elijah had been patched up and he's doing better. So apparently he has come to get him and take him back with him. And, you know, they are thanking him for everything that he's done. And then they get to Sasha and she thanks him with a handshake, but her hand has a folded up piece of paper in it. So when he goes out to the car, he look at the paper. Of course, it's Sasha's number. And so she got a little heart up on it and everything. I was like, oh. So he actually sees the person who helped to get them out of the situation, who he's really, you know, good friends with. He was happy to see him. He saw the paper in his hand and he tried to ask him about it. And he was like, oh, it's nothing. He was like, no, it appears that you've gotten a phone number. So they had a little, you know, laughing type of moment. They had a little laughter after that happened. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. He's fine. Shoot. He is fine. So the hit woman and the dummy who was being manipulated by Consuela, Juan, they had rolled up to her personal jeweler to inquire about getting access to the tracking because she started getting tracking devices put into her jewelry. Well, he's trying to follow the rules, and then he gonna ask, well, if she's missing, what have y'all, you know, called the cops? They were like, ain't nobody trying to get the cops involved. And he was like, well, I cannot give you any information about what's going on with the tracking on this device, on her devices, on her jewelry, unless it's official. I need official documentation. And they were like, is this official enough? Then pull the gun on the man. So of course they got the information, and I'm like, Lord, they doing a lot. Well, Alejandro's sister and that old man was coming from out of a like deserted type area with shovels in their hands, and they were talking to Alejandro on the phone, and it seems as though they have killed her for him. But at the same time, I'm like, is that really the case? Because I could have swore Alejandro said he wanted to be the one to kill her. So I'm like, I don't know if it's her or not. Well, like I told you, they ended up getting access to the app. You know, it all connects to an app as far as the tracking is concerned. They tracking it. They walk up on what seems to be a full-on grave. Well, they have, he is distraught. He was like, she was like, oh, yo, what are you doing? Because he done walked off. He was like, I can't leave the love of my life buried like this. She deserves better. So he went and got a shovel, and so he digging up the ground. So we're going to see what happened. Telling you, I don't know if that's her or not. Until I see her, I'm not going to believe it's her because I didn't see her get killed. If you don't see it, you don't really need to be believing it. I'm sorry. But see, this is the problem for me when it comes to like another show, like with Power. People to this day, I'm in groups where people who to this day are so dead set against believing that Ghost is dead. How can you not understand that man is dead? I'm sorry, y'all. Any of y'all who are believers in thinking that this man is alive, you are crazy. He got shot in the heart, close range, fell through a glass to his death. And it wasn't like he fell a foot. He fell a long distance and died. He's dead. And Courtney Kemp confirmed it. I'm like, why don't y'all understand? Okay, y'all, sorry I had to do it. These people be getting on my nerves with these conspiracy theories. I'm like, y'all dumb. They didn't already say, give it up. This man is really dead. Like, ain't no conspiracy to have. He dead. So the reason why I really got hyped about finishing out my reviews for this show, because I had fallen off, was because I follow someone who I first know for a fact that I saw her on this show. Now, if she's been on something else, I have no idea. But her name is Brandy in real life. She was the main attraction, Mercedes, on the TV show. What's the show? Why did it just leave my mind like that? I don't know why I just left my mind like that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pause it real quick so I can get it in my mind. Y'all, I couldn't think of P Valley to save my life. And I stay talking about some down in the valley where them girls get naked. Anyway, so every time I kept seeing her, I was like, is she gonna end up being Alexander's daughter? And she is. I was right. Okay. So they ended up meeting up. And, you know, they were talking, and she was the one who we know went up to old boy. And did I talk about that yet? I don't think I did. Okay, so old boy, who he was playing golf with earlier in the episode, he was out with his mistress. He was out with his mistress, out on the town with his mistress, and then he wanted to he went and got his car valet. You know, they valet parking where he went. So he done paid the valet, and he has a really nice car. And so she was sitting in the car. And so the mistress gonna tell him, you need to get out of his car. Why are you sitting in his car? And so she was like, anyway, you need to transfer them shares. He was like, yeah, I spoke to my lawyer. I ain't doing none of that. I'm not going to do it, whatever. So she ended up pulling the gun on him. And he was like, well, you going to shoot me in broad daylight? There are cameras all around this garage. And she was like, I don't care about them cameras. I already disabled all that. So, and as you can see, the valet is gone. So there are no witnesses to this crime outside of this heifer over here. And so he was like, well, you can't get nothing if I'm not the one transferring it. And she was like, well, I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to kill her. And so she was like, oh, no, please, no. Well, she didn't want to hear that. We weren't here to kill her. Well, let's just be clear. The shares were transferred. So, yeah, she was like, yeah, I handled that. He transferred the shares. And, you know, she wanted to make sure that had been done. And so, yeah, he did that with the quickness. Well, he ended up telling her about the situation with Senor Cruz. He was like, I went to Mexico and I was disrespected in a way that I've never been disrespected before. I've been disrespected so bad to the point of where I should have killed him on the spot. Like, it's like, he was like, this man should be dead right now, the way he disrespected me, but I left. And so she was like, okay, well, do you want him dead? So he was like, yeah, more than anything in this world, but I can't have you do that because the blowback would be too much. Everybody would implicate that it was me and everybody would be in danger, y'all. So it got to the point where they eventually, you know, revealed that she is one of the children. And she said, I'll see you at dinner on Sunday. But yeah, they got some things going on. They got some stuff brewing, and he's trying to work on some stuff. And y'all, it's a lot going on this show. So apparently the body, if there is even a body, wherever Consuela was at, is in Kansas. And the Kansas patrolmen have rolled up, and they are trying to see what is going on. They see an unknown vehicle that has New York plates, and so they go check it out. They see Juan digging up something, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They done told him to move to the side. They done took the shovel. And I'm like, how is it that with all this digging he was doing, he couldn't unearth this? As soon as that man went over there, he didn't even hardly move the dirt, and he found a bracelet of hers and moved it to the side. Then he went over to another side of it and swished around a little bit, and the scarf that was wrapped around her head or her body or whatever, some scarf we saw her have on earlier in the episode was right there. So I'm like, how y'all ain't see that? So he was like, I think we got a body. I'm gonna call it in or whatever. So they finna call it in and see what's gonna happen. Paris rolled up on her nephew, Nevada, and presented him with a birthday gift, but he cannot open it until his party. But she gave it to him now because she's leaving, despite what her parents want her to do, to still go to Europe or Asia or anywhere. He wants to know, like, with this situation, will I still be able to call you? Or is it going to be like how it was with Junior? And she was like, no, you can call me anytime. So the only hint that he was given was that his daddy gave her a similar gift on her 16th birthday. I'm thinking it's a gun or something because y'all know they was doing stuff when they were like kids. So we gonna see. So basically Paris is going around leaving notes and things for everybody in her family. But while she was in the process of leaving a note for her father, she called Sasha to apologize for getting her in that situation and to let her know that next to Rio, she is the best friend that she's always, you know, that's the best friend that she's ever had. And so Sasha got so quiet that she had to ask and, you know, kept saying hello to see if she was even still on the phone. He was like, she was just like, yeah, that was the nicest thing that you've ever said to me. Thank you. I believe you. And all right. But yeah, she let her know she's not going to be at the function. And, you know, she got to, you know, do what she got to do. But yeah, it was an interesting moment. That family is very tight-knit. I like that. Except for the fact that Paris and London are on the greatest terms right now. Y'all, we are winding down to the last few scenes in this show. And, well, there's a little surprise that has happened. At least for Sonia. Well, Charlotte presented her with some paperwork that now shows that she has been divorced. They have fast-tracked it, and she can legally get married to Junior at any time. She like, all I want to know is when the grandbaby's coming. When you gonna get married? I want lots of grandbabies, and she is overwhelmed. Y'all, how can I say this? Because I'm tired. Because I've seen the whole episode now. I'm guessing that all of this was a ploy and that the wool has been pulled over the Duncans' eyes because we see an Alabama tag, a makeshift one at that, because I ain't gonna get into the specifics, but some things are missing off the tag, but it is supposed to be an Alabama tag that is on a delivery truck. Whoever the person that really was supposed to be the delivery driver has been killed and is in the back of the truck. So he has a package that is made to seem like it is being delivered to a Duncan. He goes to the house, the door is opened by the maid. I don't forgot what the woman's name is. I don't even want to say the wrong name. I think I got the right one in mind, but I might be wrong. But anyway, as soon as I saw her, I said, oh God. Well, the woman that came to the door and he was like, I need a Duncan to sign. Is your last name Duncan? And she was like, no, come around back. She done led Brother Xavier around back. Of course he has a UPS uniform on and all of that. Then led him around back to where Donna, who is Charlotte's sister, is laying by the pool. And so she was like, do you have something for me? How can I help you? And all this other stuff. And she was like, are you just going to stand there? Oh my gosh, this fool pulled out a knife and stabbed his heifer up and killed her. I'm just like, I am done. I am so tired of y'all. It has to stop. But anyway, that is the season finale for this show. And it has been renewed for a third season, y'all. So this is going to be interesting. This is really going to be interesting to see how they go from here. Because they actually sent some operatives down there to... They sent some of their people down there to Birmingham to keep tabs on him and to look into him and all this other stuff. And they let some of the Southern people who are Southern connects know about the $100,000 bounty that's on old boy's head. But apparently this really might have been a ploy from the start to have them thinking that he boarded an airline and did all this stuff. But Junior said that he had surveillance footage that showed that he got on a plane and went to Birmingham, Alabama 2 days ago. Now, maybe he did. And what he did was he did all that so they could see all of the footage. But he stole a UPS truck, killed him, drove it all the way to New York, only to pull off this coup. Y'all, I am tired. They done did the most. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. I thoroughly enjoyed this season. Like, it done got better. They doing a lot. But anyway... Y'all have a good day. Be safe out there. And I'll see y'all later on for something else. Bye.